Welcome to the Dietitian Side Hustle podcast. My name is Katie Dodd and I am a nutrition entrepreneur. But here's the catch. I have a full-time traditional dietitian job. My entrepreneurial endeavors are my side hustle. I've been making six figures through my job and side hustle doing things that I love. If I can do it, you can too. This podcast is for dietitians, interns, and students who want to be inspired to start or perfect the side hustle of their dreams. Let's do this. Hello and welcome to the 67th episode of the Dietitian Side Hustle podcast, Vegan Bariatric Dietitian. Today, I will be interviewing Ashley Krautkramer. Ashley is a registered dietitian, board-certified specialist in obesity and weight management, and a certified diabetes care and education specialist. Ashley works in a full-time job and is a blog side hustler like myself. Her blog, The Vegan Bariatric Dietitian, helps vegans who have had bariatric surgery stay healthy and thrive by providing evidence-based nutrition guidelines. Ashley is a student in the Blogging Accelerator program and is in our first ever Blog Boss Mastermind. She has big dreams and a big heart, and I am so excited to have her here on the podcast today. So welcome, Ashley. Would you like to share a few words before we get started?
Just that I'm excited to be here and chat with you and share what I've been working on and my brand and vision.
Awesome. Well, let's start off by you telling our listeners a little bit more about yourself and how you got into the vegan bariatric space.
So about myself. Well, I didn't start out even as a dietetics major in school. I started out as a biology major because I like science, but I didn't really know what I was going to do. And then in my English class, those general education things that we have to take, I did a research paper about, I think it was just about general health benefits of vegetarian and vegan diets because it was a science paper. And then I was already vegetarian at that point, but I learned more about veganism. And for somebody who's already sensitive to those type of topics, once you see and learn some things, you can't unlearn them. And I just was not okay with that. And so then that's when I went vegan myself. My family was concerned about me and thought, I was going to die or something. I don't know. Nobody knew anything. This was back in 2006. So who even knew what a vegan was, right?
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, I didn't know that I really wanted to keep doing biology. And so I was just looking through the course catalog at the school I was at, and dietetics was in there. And I thought, well, I like food and that would be fun. And so that's how I decided on being a dietitian. And partially selfish reasons, if I'm the dietitian, nobody can tell me what to do. And I know what's best for me to eat, right?
Yeah.
So, but that spurred a career that I really like. And so I started working as a dietitian in 2014. That's when I finished my internship. Mm-hmm. And I've been working for the same hospital system since then. I've actually worked for them before that too, as a dietetic technician. And I've done a lot of different roles. I just last year, at the end of the year, is when I stopped working as an inpatient clinical dietitian. So doing all of those things, malnutrition assessments, tube feedings, PPNs, all that stuff. It's not that I didn't like it. It was interesting work. It just, I couldn't keep up with it along with my other job duties. So I also do diabetes care, everything along with that. And then my favorite is bariatric surgery. And I actually always wanted to work in bariatric surgery ever since I was in college, but I just sort of fell into it by accident at the hospital system that I work at. I suspect probably nobody else wanted to do it. So then I started doing it right when I was a new dietitian. So that was pretty exciting. And then I think it was around 2019, I kind of heard about this blogging thing and that you can do things online. I took Erica Jolson's SEO course. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I had no website, just, wow, I'm going to learn about SEO. And then I got a website, but I didn't really have very good direction. It was just general bariatric stuff that my domain name was for. Mm-hmm. And after a while, when I was thinking about it, I was like, I don't think I can do this. And I thought, well, I wonder if I could make it for vegans and vegetarians. Like, are those people out there? Because they're not any of my patients. So I thought maybe I could look into that, and found out that there are those people out there. And so that's what led me to my current niche. And then I was in the blogging accelerator program. I mean, still am. And then everything kind of developed from there. Maybe that was kind of long, but
no, that was great. And I love that you kind of fell into bariatrics kind of by accident. And I think that happens to a lot of us. That's how I kind of fell into geriatrics. And you never know what you're going to love until you're in it. Because I know, at least for me, I probably as a student would have said like, yes, I want to do geriatrics. And so that's great. That's how you found it. Yeah. And I love too that you combined kind of a little bit of yourself and, what you're into as far as being vegan with being a dietitian. And I think what you said was important, saying like, are these people out there? And I don't see them in my practice, but are they out there? And I think that's the amazing thing about this day and age is we have access to the internet and we can reach anyone everywhere. Sometimes people worry about niching down too tight, like, are there going to be people out there? But I think what you're doing is a great example of, yes, they are out there and they need dietitians with credible information to help them. So I love the space you're in. So
yes, definitely. Thank you. It's just like the biggest vegan misconception that, well, it kind of goes both ways. Either it's so easy to be a vegan that you'll never get a deficiency ever, and you just, eat whatever you want and it doesn't matter. Or it's so hard to be a vegan that you can't possibly be healthy and you'll die.
Yeah.
So try to have a middle ground there.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. So you've been in the Blogging Accelerator program for the past 10 months now, and I will say time has just flown by. So can you share, and I know you started talking about the blog a little bit, but can you share with our listeners why you started your blog and how it's going?
Yeah, sure. So why I started it is I wanted to do something in addition to my current job where I could focus more on the type of patients or clients or whatever you want to call them that are my favorite type to work with, and do that more, because in my current job, it's part of what I do, but it's not all of it. And I would prefer to work, really only with bariatric surgery patients in my ideal world. And so that's why I started the blog, but I didn't really want to work with any more patients. I'm kind of a introvert and kind of a loner. And so if I can get by without having to do like counseling or anything like that, I will do that. And also I'm terrified of the dietitian licensure laws. And so I just don't even want to deal with that online unless it gets easier. Or maybe I just have a big misconception, but I don't want to. So that's why I did the blog. And as far as how it's going, I think it's going pretty well. I'm waiting for, to be able to have significant traffic, but I am posting more consistently now that I'm in the mastermind group, and I started a Facebook group. And I had my first patient in the Facebook group today actually ask a question, just started a post. And so that was really exciting, and had a positive interaction with that person. So I really enjoyed that. So going good.
Awesome. And, I know you hear me say this, people on the blog or the podcast hear me say this, but blogging is a long-term game. So it's going to be a while, but the thing you're doing right is you are being consistent. You are showing up, you are building your brand, not just through your blog, but through Facebook. So, it is coming. It's just that patience part. Yeah. And I want to touch on a couple of things you said. You talked about how in an ideal world, you would just be doing bariatrics. And I think that's the cool thing about starting a side hustle is you're your own boss. You could do what you want to do and you'll have to do those things you don't want to do. And I am completely like you. I don't really want to see patients in my side hustle. So I totally hear you. So now you have this outlet where you could really lean into the stuff you're most passionate about. So let's talk a little bit more about your niche, because it is very specific, which I super love. And we kind of talked about how you landed on this niche. It kind of it fell into what you do personally and what kind of like what you fell into with your job within bariatrics, and then kind of how you started going the direction of blogging with bariatrics, recognizing, oh, wait, I want to really focus in on this almost like a micro niche. So can you share, what has been your experience with diving into this micro niche, and have you had any challenges along the way?
I would say it's been positive overall. I do worry sometimes that it's too specific, like maybe not too specific in that there's nobody out there, but I worry, are people searching for this stuff on Google, in enough volume? I don't know. Is it applicable to people who aren't vegan that have had bariatric surgery? Probably some of it is, so maybe that would help. But overall, it's been positive because the people that I am interacting with are like me in a lot of ways. And so we have, similar ethics and beliefs and likes of food. And that's nice because I don't have a lot of that in my regular job. So, patients ask me like, oh, how should I cook this chicken? I'm like, I don't know, let's Google it because I have no idea. So it's nice to have clients or ideal audience that are my people.
Yeah. And that makes it the most enjoyable too when you're in your job. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I think a lot of people worry about niching down, and are there enough people out there, and is there going to be a need? But like I said before, there are so many people out there. And when it comes to your blog, people are going to come to your blog who are not vegan bariatric patients. My blog, The Geriatric Dietitian, I get a ton of people who come to the blog who are not older adults. So so thank you for sharing that. And so my next question would be, it's been such an honor to have you in the Blog Boss Mastermind. We're 2 months into the mastermind, and you have such an amazing vision for your brand. Can you share a little bit more about your long-term vision for the Vegan Bariatric Dietitian, and maybe sprinkle in some like the why behind it?
Yeah. So long-term, obviously, I would like to be able to monetize my blog. That would be my ultimate big goal, I would say. But also, I feel like just to serve my ideal clients best, I think they want more than that. I think they want some type of paid product, course, or maybe ebooks, probably both, because those are the kind of things that people get from their bariatric surgery program. Like the program that I work for, we have a patient handbook that they get. And it's not only about diet, it's about, other stuff too. But those type of materials aren't, they're not catered toward them. Like maybe on the proteins list, it lists tofu, but the recipes aren't geared toward it. And it's just not as helpful for them. So I want to be able to kind of replace or in addition to add to whatever they're getting from their bariatric surgery program so that they can have a similar, I guess, experience, if that's the right word. So that would be my goal there. I'm not totally opposed to the idea to seeing patients, but I don't really want to right now. And it would, like I said, it would take some figuring as far as like licensure laws. And I guess I would want to be in a place where I have enough of an audience to charge a lot for it, so I don't have to do it very much. And then long term as well, I would love to create some type of content for other bariatric dietitians too that want to learn. I have done one thing like that. I wrote an article for the Vegetarian Nutrition Dietetic Practice Group about bariatric surgery patients who are vegan or vegetarian. But I would like to do more, either a course that could be purchased, or even speaking at a conference or something like that would be awesome. So that's more my long-term plan, I guess. Yeah,
I love that. Making money, serving lots of people, helping the profession, all good stuff. And that's also the benefit of, diving into a micro niche, because as dietitians, we are really kind of generalists when we come out of school. Most of us typically pick a specific area to go into and we specialize in it. But then even within a niche, for example, bariatrics, there are niches within the niche. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great just wanting to educate and spread the word for other dietitians,
Mm-hmm.
because there is the need out there on how can I serve these patients who I'm encountering who are
Mm-hmm.
vegan. So
yes, other dietitians do ask me. And so I would like to be able to share that in a way that's easier for them to, consume and reference and things like that.
Yeah. Awesome. So my next question is just kind of a fun one. Let's talk about cats. So I love your logo for the Vegan Bariatric Dietitian because there's a cute little black cat sneaking up in there. So can you share a little bit more about why there's a cat in your logo?
Well, yeah. So we do have 4 black cats, Sookie, Pearl, Bonnie, and Willow. So that's probably part of it. The other reason is I wanted a different type of logo. I feel like a lot of times vegan logos are like green with a plant in it.
Yes.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I didn't really want to have, the same as everybody else. And actually my sister designed my logo. She has an online business doing VA work and graphic design. So
yeah, perfect end to have. And I love always seeing all your little kitty cats. So
yeah.
Awesome. Well, you've accomplished so much over the last 10 months from, starting this blog, building it out, and starting this brand. And I know you are just getting started, but looking back from where you're at now, what advice do you have for our side hustlers listening to, especially those who are just getting started? Like maybe they're just at the starting point. What advice would you have for them?
I would say be consistent with what you're doing and don't try to do too many different things at one time. Like try to start something and get good at it before you try doing other things, because that's where you can get kind of overwhelmed. Like there's all these different things out there that I hear about, even, just like in your awesome dietitian side hustle Facebook group. And I think, oh yeah, that sounds great, but I need to not do all of those things. So picking a couple of things at a time to work on and be consistent with, I think is probably the most important in my mind. And don't try to, we talk about this a lot, right? But don't try to make everything perfect, because it's never going to be, and it's just a waste of time, honestly.
Yes. I think the faster we could learn to get rid of perfectionism, the faster we're going to reach our goals and really just live the lives we want, because perfectionism, it holds us back. So
yes.
So excellent advice. Be consistent and, don't do too many things at once. So kind of that mastery thing, like get good at something, focus on it, and not have that shiny object syndrome where you're always chasing something. So
yes. Yeah. Like, oh, maybe that'll be the thing that'll help me do what I'm supposed to, but really you probably just need to do what you're supposed to, right? Like the Atomic Habits book.
Yes. Atomic Habits. I actually, if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you for the 3 people who watch on YouTube, but I've got the book right here, Atomic Habits. It is really, really good. Actually, everyone in my mastermind got a copy, and it's right. A lot of people give up before they reach success, and they feel like, oh my gosh, why can't I have success? Why can't I do these things? And a lot of it is, like you said, just not being consistent and giving it the time that it needs to really bloom. So yeah, good advice.
Yes.
Awesome. So thank you so much for being on the podcast, Ashely. It was fun to have you on chatting about your brand and what you're up to. So where can people find you online?
So my blog, first of all, so that's veganbariatricdietitian.com. And we all know how to spell dietitian, right? So that's how it'll be in there. And then I'm on LinkedIn. So just my name, Ashley Krautkramer. You should be able to find me there. I'm on Instagram at vegan.bariatric.dietitian. I'm on all the other ones too, but I don't really do anything. So you can find me there, but you won't see anything.
Well, I will put all the links on where to find Ashely in the show notes. So again, thank you so much for being on. It's been fun.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for listening to the podcast, guys. Be sure to head on over to the Dietitian Side Hustle website at dietitiansidehustle.com and check out our coaching page to learn about all the ways that we can work together. Have an amazing day, and I'm so proud of you for taking the initiative to listen to this podcast. Now go out there and get it done. Bye, guys.